Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. October 26, 2019, the Truly Sorry edition. First up, from the Financial Times, the ongoing story of ethical employees, whistleblowers, and Infosys. The Indian tech behemoth, is in incredible turmoil as a series of whistleblowers have brought complaints forward about unethical practices in the company's accounting procedures. These efforts include senior management who is alleged to have boosted short-term financial results through aggressive and irregular accounting, and employees were pressured not to reveal key information to auditors and the board. The sidelining of employees who disagreed with this unethical and perhaps illegal approach. The stock price has taken a huge tumble, and both in India and the United States, the SEC has opened an investigation. It has certainly renewed anxiety over the company's corporate governance model and whether or not it is actually reporting true and accurate financials. So we're going to have to continue to watch this story. Next, from the Wall Street Journal Risk and Compliance Journal, a new report evaluates sanctions program in sub-Saharan Africa. A report published by the policy advocacy group The Century on Thursdays evaluated the effectiveness of sanctions programs by the EU and US on 7 African countries. What they found was economic sanctions are often levied in an attempt to redress armed conflict, and their support of the goals have produced some successes, but they are poorly maintained and in many cases have not been expansive enough. The report advocated that sanctions be used really against a network that would be anti-democracy, conflict minerals, and drug trades. So a very interesting report from The Century. In an article on the Washington Post, the Trump Organization indicates that it is considering selling its D.C. hotel lease. The Trump Organization says that the hotel has been a center of controversy and that the various lawsuits against the organization and, of course, the continued controversy over foreign officials and others staying there as putative bribes to Trump has certainly hurt the hotel. The question, though, is if a person buys that, would that be considered payment of a bribe for the president? It's unclear where that might shake out on the emoluments clause issue. Nevertheless, if a foreign buyer comes in and purchases that lease, it certainly could raise some very interesting and indeed even troubling questions for the Trump Organization. And finally, in a stunning PR move, really speaking to the depth of how far they have fallen and the problems they're in, the Boeing company has put out a print ad in the Financial Times and other international magazines entitled, quote, "We are truly sorry, a progress report on the 737 MAX on Boeing and safety." One might wonder why they are truly sorry now, as opposed just to being regularly sorry or a little sorry, and why nearly 1 year later it's taken them this long to say they are truly sorry. It's an attempt to begin to come back from, no doubt, the abyss they have found themselves in. Nevertheless, I think it really will continue to bedevil the company going forward. But we saw Wells Fargo do this to really no avail earlier this year as well. So good luck with being truly sorry. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio.